So the big question is this: how are leaders like you that recognize people and technology are the backbone of the company they're building continue to make progress when they have no clear idea on how to develop individuals and utilize technology in a way that helps them remain profitable? That is the question, and this podcast will give you the answers. This is Tom and Michaela, and welcome to the Heart and Hustle Podcast. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Heart and Hustle Podcast. I am Tom, and this is
Michaela.
There we go. Today we're outside of the nest. As you can see behind us, this big nest sign here. We're going to kind of show a panoramic view throughout this podcast once we're done. Maybe pick up this big camera and flip it around.
Well, it's the first day in what feels like days that it's not 97 degrees out.
It's amazing,
It's
isn't it?
been weeks of super bad heat, and it's just nice to kind of have a reprieve.
It's very, very nice. So we're out here on the patio, which is usually 2 o'clock in the morning. We're waking up and throwing cushions back inside the nest to keep them from blowing in the farm field 30 feet to our left.
It gets a little windy out here, and they all blow away.
It's crazy.
It's okay.
So anyways, tonight, just want to kind of talk about what we did last week. This isn't quite boring, I don't think, but we had an amazing time.
We did.
Yeah. Mostly, I guess for me was last night.
Yeah, that was great. We went to the Child Advocacy Center's Harvest for Hope out at Junto Wine in Milford-ish, Nebraska.
Seward County, that's correct.
Seward County, yes.
Yep.
And it was just very lovely. It was nice to hang out with friends and people who were all there to support the same mission and the same cause, and
right.
it was a good time.
Yeah, they raised, I saw this morning, Paige had, I think, over $80,000.
Yes. Super exciting.
That was just amazing. And for those of you that don't know who they are, we're going to have some links below here. And, if you want to reach out and donate and contribute, we have fully supported their cause since, the day that we have met them and much before. We've known about them. In fact, your mother used to work there.
She did.
When she was...
A while ago.
A long time ago.
Yep.
That was
she did
crazy.
work there for a while.
In fact, the table that we sat at was sponsored by Central States Telephone, and Marty Walters was his name. And he was gracious enough to give us a couple tickets for us to spend some time with him and his wife and some other couples there. And he's been, I think, tied to that organization since 1998.
1998, he told me. Yes.
It's crazy. And he actually knew your mother when she worked there.
Yeah, we started talking about, I said, my mom used to work here. And he's like, oh, who is that? And I told him, and they had several different connections. And so that was interesting. It's a small world.
It is. And what's crazy about it is as we start up, on our other channel, which we'll be launching here soon with Jason's Heart, we were talking about this, I think, on the way out there, or even earlier that day, of how these nonprofits, it's really hard just to go and just ask for money.
It's not easy.
It's just like, you find some donors or some rich uncles out there, and you say, hey, listen, donate to my cause. And
show me the money.
Everybody's like, what do I get in return? And from my aspect of it, and, from the business side, nobody wants to just give money away and not receive anything. They're, even if they say that they do, they don't. They're expecting something in return at all times.
Even if it's a warm, fuzzy feeling that they're
a warm,
giving.
fuzzy feeling, a token, a memento. It's something. And, with the CAC, that really kind of opened my eyes up last night with Jason's Heart and, creating a series of events, just really giving back to the community and being there for just those individuals. And I think the more that these nonprofits focus on that, they focus on, big events, small events, they focus on giving back and really showing their cause and what they're doing. It makes people kind of jump on that bandwagon a little bit. It makes people really jump on behind them and their mission to help them, really focus on the greater good of what they're trying to actually do.
Yeah, they did a great job. It was fun.
They did a wonderful job there. I was very enamored, I guess. Is that the right word?
Yeah, you can use that.
There you go.
That works.
Big dictionary terms for me tonight. So it's amazing. So, but yeah. So, anyways, as we move forward, this past week has been a big week for Jason's Heart. This is obviously the Heart and Hustle podcast, but every so often we kind of dive into different topics, and tonight is really, I just want to kind of bring light what Jason's Heart is and what we're trying to do with it, and so on and so forth. These past couple weeks have been just a whirlwind with it. We've tried to kind of refine it, tool it, I guess, a little bit to kind of help define it, to really pinpoint its niche, to figure out what it is and what it's trying to be inside of our community. At first, we started with, dealing with a lot of the clients that come out of the rehab centers in which we support, in which we maintain, from an executive technology and HR leadership role, and that kind of transcended into working with a lot of the jails and people that have been incarcerated, and working with those inmates that have come out of the prison systems. And most recently, we're including veterans and veterans that are trying to kind of re-enter the workforce and kind of go through training as it relates to technology and media. So with those three groups of people, folks are coming out of rehab, folks that are coming out of jail, and also veterans. I think we got our plate full.
We do have our plate full for sure.
I think it just rounded everything out. And, this past week we spoke about a lot of things, having multiple training sessions a week in just what I would consider simple, fun things, even through things like home automation with Alexas and smart things and everything you can do with smart plugs and everything else there, like these hour-long sessions on the weekend here and there, from, gardening with Jason to, cooking, or just these 1 hour flash training sessions open to 100% of the community by our staff, by what we're trying to do. And because all of us have expertise in something. Right. Victoria and Devin have wonderful expertise in cameras and how to edit and how to create TikToks and so on and so forth. And it's really just opening everything up, what's in our head, and dumping it back into the community and showing everybody, with no exception, kind of how this stuff works and what we should do. But not to take focus off Jason's heart. Jason's heart is, that hard part. It's that 1 year apprenticeship program where, these folks are going to be paid, I feel, a considerable sum of money coming out of their environments, a working wage to be able to live, support themselves, housing, food, help support their families in need, and have a full-time gig and work alongside of the engineers and the support people that Soren Group works with, and other companies too. So we have I think 5 endorsed local providers now, who shall remain quiet at this point in time. Once we get ready to publish that, we will. We have 8 corporate sponsors that are behind us, and we have just a lot of heart, and just trying to really round up what that means and kind of what that is giving back to the community and everything else. So we hired our program director. So talk about Denise a little bit and kind of how you guys met and how you knew about each other, and her qualifications and everything, just so
Yeah, super excited to have her on board. She has developed diversion programs for our county attorney, and she ran that program and ran it well for many, many years, and I'm just super excited about what she'll be able to offer. I know that we have a lot to do, and there's a lot to make happen. I think she's probably feeling a little bit overwhelmed.
I think she was scared
right
that
now.
first week.
I think
maybe not scared. Overwhelmed is a good word.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. Well, plus, it's not like, when you deal with, it doesn't matter what industry it's in, whether it's a nonprofit or a business or whatnot. I mean, it's a startup. I mean, it's rock down startup, grinding, hustling, trying to put this stuff together. And I've started probably 4 companies now, and they've all been successful. We've never had any real big losses. We've done well, but starting a nonprofit's hard. I mean, this is not for the faint of heart, and it's just because of all the T's you got to cross, the I's you got to dot, the paperwork, the formalities, the forms, everything you have to do is 10x from a normal business. I mean, a normal business any day of the week.
And there's a lot of hoops you have to jump through, and there's a lot of just time restraints. And I mean, you would take off at 100 miles an hour, and it's the process and the system that is going to end up being difficult and holding us back a little bit from what you're used to.
And it's hard for me is that, when we're going through this process, like, hey, we'll apply for some grants, and, we'll get a $10,000 grant or maybe a $50,000 grant to do this because we have a good story, we have a good mission. There's obviously a successful track record in the industries of which we serve.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
And the more I read about it, it's like, I don't want anything to do with grants.
Yeah, wow.
And I think they're good. I think they're good to have, but I'm no expert. But it seems like you gotta you got to track the spending. You have to really allocate funds and do things kind of the way that the company that grants you those dollars to use certain things.
Yep.
And I'm used to the other side of it, where you have a good mission. You have people that trust you. You have not really investors by any means, but companies and just normal people that understand the cause, and they say, here's some dollars, go forth and make it happen. And they watch from afar, and or they're part of that organization, and they watch it. Mm-hmm. And they grow with you. And to me, that's a lot easier.
It is a lot easier. This is a way different beast.
It is. But, it's kind of funny. I've been talking about Jason's Heart this is month number 8 now. Going on month number 9.
Yeah.
Officially formed in December of 2020.
Yeah.
And here it is, September, and, we're done. It's time to rock and roll and get things rolling. And the first full-time employee with Denise, who came on board. Hopefully, we should probably have her on this podcast sometime soon.
That would be wonderful.
Or maybe, you know what? I think we should do it. Maybe just on your other channel, like in the heart of it. Just talk with Denise, and I don't know. We'll talk about that later.
We'll figure that out. Yeah.
How's in the heart of it going?
You know how much I love to be on camera.
Well, now you can be outside. You can be sitting in the apple orchard right over here.
Yeah.
Cornfield over there. Or whatever.
Yeah. Love it.
That's crazy. I don't know. So what's new with you this week? Anything that I didn't know about already?
This week coming up, or what happened this
past week, and then going into this week?
I don't know. We had a busy week. I feel like we had a busy weekend. We relaxed a little bit, but we got to see some old friends, saw my daughter, did some things around the house, just, normal everyday things, I think.
Yeah, I think it's wonderful. Got to see my dad, I think, this past week, and help him with a few things. I took about 3 hours off of work one afternoon and just ran around town with him and helped him fix a few things and so on and so forth. And next weekend, I think we get to see my aunt.
Yes.
And we get to see your dad, and
yes.
Yeah, that side of the family, and I'm super excited for that too.
Me too.
And then also what's to come. So Jason's Heart website will be launching this week here soon. I always say that, but this week is the final week. It's been a lot of, going to bed at 11 o'clock at night, waking up at 2:30 in the morning, and still going at it. So
you've worked hard on that website.
Yeah, it's been crazy. So, but anyways, everybody have a great week. Like we said before, follow the links below to the CAC. Paige and staff, Carol, are wonderful people. Look up their cause.
Yes.
Look up their systems and what they believe in. It is truly an amazing event that they had this past weekend, and I encourage everybody to donate to that cause. It's a wonderful, wonderful team of folks there.
For sure.
So, but anyways, well, if anything else, hit us up in the comments below. Questions, concerns, what should we talk about next? I mean, sometimes we get kind of boring, sometimes we get kind of intense, but tonight was just kind of a fun night out by the nest here, and I feel like we're commentators.
I do. I feel like I'm a sportscaster who knows nothing about sports.
Yeah,
So,
this is crazy. But anyways, we're going to show you some footage of the acreage here and kind of what's going on in our world. And we'll catch you guys later, and have a great week. We'll see you guys later. Bye.